News for New York, now at 7 p.m. The Tri-State's newest live local 7 p.m. news. News for New York, tonight at 7 p.m.
Right now on Today in New York, COVID-19 hitting the Yankees again. At least 3 players test positive, and why this may be just the start of uncertainty.
And new this morning, police rushed to 4 crime scenes overnight as we learned about a suspect wanted for a deadly incident earlier this week.
Well, good morning, everybody. 6:30 a.m. on this Friday, July 16th. You see it behind us. It's a warm day. I'm Michael Gargiulo.
I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Yep, we feel that heat coming through that window. Lawrence Gala tracking commuter alert. Storm Team 4's Maria LaRosa is watching the heat advisory. Actually, there is a heat advisory for our area.
Yeah, it's continued and expanded to today and actually even into tomorrow. So, yeah, we're in for it. We're peaking today as far as the straight up heat, but that I don't know how comforting that is, right? 79 degrees at Central Park right now, 78 in Newark. We're down to 71 in White Plains, 73 in Eastport. There is that haze. We have the heat advisory that's for the city, Long Island, now parts of the Hudson Valley, Central and South Jersey included in it as well for the heat index values that'll be mid and upper 90s. There is that hot, hazy sun already. 91 degrees by 1 p.m. It'll feel close to 100 by 4 p.m. this afternoon with a spotty shower or thunderstorm possible. We hang on to that heat, 84 even at 10 o'clock. All right, Lauren, how are things moving along on this Friday?
Not too bad. Really, traffic is lighter in many areas. You could still see lots of green on my maps for 631, but there are a couple of issues. There is still an accident out there on the New York State Thruway northbound after exit 17. You can see delays building. That's out by I-84, and then heading over to the Alexander Hamilton Bridge. You still have a stalled truck out there. Here it is in the center lane. It looks like it may be moving. That's great news. But either way, it's caused a 30-minute delay inbound at the George Washington Bridge that likely won't ease out that quickly. So the lower level is the way to go. That delay is at the upper level. Michael, back to you.
Warren, thanks very much. Right now, we're awaiting new information from the Yankees after at least 3 players tested positive for COVID-19. New York's Tracy Strahan's outside the stadium this morning to explain why a lot of things are on hold right now, Tracy, until they can figure out the extent of these new infections.
Yeah, what happened, Michael, could be just the tip of the iceberg for the Bronx Bombers. Now, yesterday's marquee matchup against the Red Sox was canceled after 3 relief pitchers tested positive for COVID-19, and now the team's awaiting the results of 3 more players. Scheduled for 7:05, but they're awaiting those results of those 3 unidentified players. All of this coming after the All-Star break, Michael. We'll send it back to you.
Yep, the official second half of the season. Tracy, thank you very much. I want to go out west now to Los Angeles County. Once again, they're requiring everyone to wear a mask while indoors in public. Now, the rule applies even if you have been vaccinated. One county health official calls this an all-hands-on-deck moment while infections are surging. Yesterday, L.A. County reported its highest rate of new COVID infections since back in early March. And this rule does take effect at midnight Sunday morning.
New this morning, a violent night in Brooklyn. Police responded to 4 different shootings. This as we learn more about a suspect they were already looking for. All of those shootings spread out across the borough. Today in New York's Erica Byfield's in Flatlands with what we're learning. Erica.
Hi, Darlene. Well, police spent the night here in Brooklyn racing all around the borough trying to respond to these shootings. From what they're telling us, there were 4 separate incidents. Let's talk about one of those. In one of those incidents, 3 teenagers were injured, 17, 18, and 19. That was around 11 o'clock last night. They got shot on Ralph Avenue at a pizzeria. Investigators described the victims as uncooperative. They're telling us at this point that it is hard for them to determine if it was a targeted or random shooting. Also overnight, police released new shocking video of a man that they need your help finding. It shows him on the phone, and then they say he pulled out a gun and shot and killed a 21-year-old man. That happened Wednesday, also here in Brooklyn on Clarkson Avenue and East 53rd Street. Yesterday, the mayor talked about the violence that's impacting all 5 boroughs in New York City, and he also talked about the help he thinks the city needs from the federal government and the state.
We definitely need help from the federal government cutting off the supply of guns in New York City, and we definitely need help from the state government getting the court system to full strength, which it still is not yet. Commissioner Shea made a great point the other day. He said Yankee Stadium's full, Citi Field's full. Why are the courts not at full strength? We need that.
So we had 4 shootings overnight. Police tell us that 6 people were injured. They also say that all 6 of those people are expected to survive. In Brooklyn, Erica Byfield for Today in New York.
Erica, thank you. And another case of gun violence, this one in Woodside, Queens, stemming from an apparent act of road rage. Police say 2 drivers got into a dispute, and when they were stuck in traffic at Queens Boulevard and 65th Place, one got out of his car and punched the other in the face. We're told the man who was punched pulled out a gun, shot the other man in the stomach, and drove off. The gunshot victim is expected to survive. Police say the shooter was driving a gray Nissan Sentra.
Well, this morning, a man is in custody in connection with a shooting incident that happened in Times Square. We say 20-year-old Elijah Cuomo opened fire shortly after midnight Wednesday. Now, thankfully, nobody was hurt. Police say Cuomo is attempted, though, with attempted murder. Tomorrow, Governor Cuomo is set to answer questions about the sexual harassment and misconduct allegations against him brought by several women. The Attorney General's office has spent 4 months looking into these allegations, all of which the governor has denied. Outside lawyers hired to lead the investigation expected to question Cuomo tomorrow. It's going to happen in Albany. Many legal experts believe, though, this will signal the investigation is coming to a close. The AG's office has not commented. But a senior advisor to Governor Cuomo did issue this statement saying, quote, "We have said repeatedly that the governor doesn't want to comment on this review until he has cooperated. But the continued leaks are more evidence of the transparent political motivation of the Attorney General's review."
Well, today, Westchester City of Mount Vernon will hold a special council meeting to deal with the state of emergency involving city services. Garbage trucks, they're being pulled out of service because of poor maintenance. So are police cars. Mayor Shane Patterson Howard blames Mount Vernon's controller and accuses that office of a dereliction of duty for failing to pay repair bills. But the controller says it's the mayor's fault.
All right, 6:38 right now. We want to go to Chopper 4's view of Coney Island. Chopper 4 over Coney Island. Let's take a look. There we see some people out in the water early this morning, maybe doing a little fishing. The beaches of the Atlantic Ocean right there. Certainly, Maria, a wonderful place to be there.
Oh, that looks refreshing. It looks quiet. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of company later on today. Should be a good beach day. Let's take you now ground level to Coney Island. And we have the Cyclones, Brooklyn Cyclones home against the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. Again, this evening is going to be a hot one. And there's, look at that haze. Headed up to 90 by noontime. It'll feel closer to 100 by later in the afternoon. And we hang on to that heat. Still in the 80s by 10 o'clock. So it's not just today. We have that heat advisory that continues tomorrow. This along with a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. So I'll time that out for you. Staying muggy through the early part of the week. The rear relief, I have it in the 10-day forecast.
Maria, thanks so much. Still to come, new stickers that may look like social distancing markers are popping up around Manhattan, but the surprise you'll get if you step on one.
And after the break, a summer staycation inside a New York City ice cream truck. How you could get that chance today. You might want that chance today. You're watching Today in New York.
If you are getting on the rails, subways are in good shape, but path commuters, there are delays on the Newark to World Trade Center line and the Hoboken to World Trade Center line. Everything else looks good as far as the rails. If you're getting on the ferries, no further updates for NYC Ferry, South Williamsburg, Greenpoint landings. They both remain closed, and we'll take a live look outside. If you're headed to the Lincoln Tunnel, you're in for a nice ride. Really barely a delay out there, but there is a 30-minute delay inbound at the GW Bridge. So if you have an option, stick with the Lincoln Tunnel. You're watching Today in New York.
Walter Geer was among the 600 black executives who issued an ultimatum to the predominantly white ad industry.
There is a severe lack of equity and opportunity for black and brown people.
I'm putting 2 black leaders on our C-suite staff by Q1.
Where have you to this point actually landed with those 2 hires?
So the answer is 1 out of the 2.
Truth is, Gary didn't have to have the conversation with me. By having this conversation, we're teaching a lot of people how to move forward.